Good day, students. So we are now in week 13. Still, the lesson is covered in chapter 5, lesson 5 about air pollution and solution. For your reference, you must have your interactive science textbook, and the lessons can be found on page 144 to 153. Let's start. The objectives of the lesson. Identify the causes outdoor and indoor pollution. Differentiate outdoor and indoor pollution. Explain the causes of damages in ozone layer and how can air pollution be reduced. What is air pollution? Air pollution refers to the releases of pollutants into the air that detrimental to human with regards to health and the planet as a whole. Almost living things depend on these gases to survive, which is the air. We understand on the previous discussion about the gas cycle between the living things and the atmosphere. This cycle guarantees that the air supply will not run out, but they don't guarantee that the air will be clean. In order to understand what is air pollution, I will send you the file of this PowerPoint and you will click on this particular link. Let's move on. We have types of air pollution. The first is outdoor pollution. In outdoor pollution, we will tackle here the emission, smog, and acid rain. What causes air pollution? Until the mid of 1900s, in the United States, factories and power plants that burn coal produced most of the pollutants, or what we call the emission, which is released into the air. Today, a large source of emission resulting in air pollution outdoors comes from motor vehicles, such as the cars and trucks. These are also some natural causes of air pollution. Methane released from animals, such as cows, also sends pollutants into the atmosphere. The air pollution sources can be grouped as point of non-point sources. A point source is a specific source of pollution that is easy to identify, such as the smoke truck. A non-point source is a source that is widely spread and cannot be tied to a specific origin, such as vehicle emission. So, the pollution can be traced to any specific vehicle. The second type is indoor air pollution. On this particular part, we're going to touch the terms like carbon monoxide and the radon. But before we move on the indoor air pollution, let's go back to the outdoor. The second is smog. Have you ever heard a weather forecaster talk about the smog alert? A smog alert is a warning about a type of air pollution called the photochemical smog. Photochemical smog is a thick, brownish haze formed when certain gases in the air react with sunlight. When the smog level is high, it settles as a haze over a city. Smog can cause breathing problem and eye throat irritation. Exercising outdoors can make this problem worse. The major source of smog are the gases emitted by cars and trucks. Burning gasoline in the car engine releases gases into the air. The third is acid rain. Precipitation that is more acidic than normal because of the air pollution, and that is called the acid rain. Acid rain can also take the form of snow, sleet, or fog. Acid rain is caused by emission from power plants and factories that burn coal and oil. This fuel produce nitrogen oxide and sulfur oxides when they are burned. These gases that are released react with water vapor in the air, forming nitric acid and sulfuric acid. The acid dissolve in the precipitation and return to the Earth's surface. Acid rain doesn't just affect living things. The acid reacts with the stone and metal in buildings and statues. Statues and stonework damaged by acid rain may look as if they are melting. Automobiles rust more quickly in areas with acid rain. These effects are not reversible and the damage can be costly. The second type of air pollution is indoor pollution. You might think that you can avoid air pollution by staying inside. The air inside building can be polluted too. Some substances that can indoor air pollution, such as dust and pet hair, bother you only those people who are sensitive to them. Other indoor air pollutants, such as toxic chemicals, can affect anyone. Carbon monoxide. One particular dangerous indoor air pollutant is carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is a colorless and odorless gas that forms when fuel are not completely burned. When carbon monoxide builds up in an enclosed space like a house, it can be deadly. Any home heated by wood, coal, oil, or gas need a carbon monoxide detector. Radon. Another indoor air pollutant that is difficult to detect is radon. Radon is a colorless, odorless, and that is radioactive. It is formed naturally by certain rock underground. Radon can enter some homes through cracks in the basement walls or floors. Breathing radon gas over many years may cause lung cancer and other health problems. Homeowners can install ventilation system to prevent radon from building up in their home. You have to watch another video in order to understand the difference between the indoor and outdoor air pollution. The link is stated here. Next is what causes damage to the ozone layer. What is ozone layer? If you ever heard about the sunburn, you have experienced the painful effect of the sun's ultraviolet radiation. But did you know that the sunburn would be even worse without protection of the ozone layer? The ozone layer, ozone shield, is a region of the Earth's stratosphere that absorbs most of the sun's ultraviolet radiation. It contains high concentration of ozone in relation to other parts of the atmosphere, although it's still small in relation to the gas in the stratosphere. The source of the ozone. Ozone is constantly being made and destroyed. When sunlight strikes an ozone molecule, the energy of the ultraviolet radiation is partly absorbed. This energy causes the ozone molecule to break apart into the oxygen molecule, and of course in the oxygen atom. The oxygen atom soon collides with another oxygen molecule. They react to form a new ozone molecule. Each time on the cycle, it occurs of some energy when some energy is absorbed. The energy does not reach Earth's surface. The ozone hole. In the late 1970s, scientists observed the satellite images that the ozone layer over Antarctica was growing thinner each spring. The amount of ozone layer was decreasing. This caused an era of severe ozone depletion on the ozone hole. What is to blame for the ozone hole? Scientists determined that the major cause of the ozone hole is a group of gases called the chlorofluorocarbons of the or the CFCs. It is a human-made gases that contains chlorine and fluorine. CFCs have been used in air conditioners, aerosols, spray cans, and other household products. CFCs reach high into the atmosphere and react with the ozone molecule. The CFCs block the cycle in which the ozone molecule absorbs the ultraviolet radiation. As a result, more ultraviolet light reaches the Earth's surface. How can air pollution be reduced? There are two ways: controlling emission from the factories and controlling emission from the vehicle. Air pollution can be reduced if we examine our sources. The key to reducing air pollution, of course, is to control the emission. In the United States, laws such as the Clean Air Act, it regulates the amount of certain pollutants that can be released into the air. The law also encourages the development of new technology that reduces the air pollution. Reducing emission also requires a lot of effort. Controlling emissions from factories. At home, industries deals with emission by building tall smoke stacks. The stacks release waste high into the air where they could blow away, but the pollutants still ended up somewhere. Now, factories remove pollutants from some emission with devices known as the scrubbers that release water droplets. Pollutants dissolve in the water and fall into a container. The use of the scrubbers explain why water and fall into the container. The use of the scrubber explain why smoke from factories is white. It's not smoke, it's a steam. The second is controlling emission from vehicle. Cars and trucks now contain pollution, which is controlled devices. A catalytic converter is a part of exhaust system that reduces emission of carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, and nitrogen oxide. This device causes the gas to react, forming less harmful carbon dioxide and water. Laws can be ensured that people use pollution control devices. For example, in many states, cars must be passed emission tests to be allowed on the road. To summarize the lesson, you have to watch the link here in order to understand well what's the concept, what's the idea on how the air be reduced. So don't forget to answer your scholarly evaluation every day, and of course the evaluation in person online. I hope it will help you. God bless you all and keep safe. That's all for this week. Thank you.